Elves, Gnomes and Fairies. November 12, 2014. Note: I offer this message and a few others I have on my computer, which I'll offer in the coming days on the heels of a decision to merge my channeling and writing into what I call meditative writing. I asked a few people who read my work for their perspective on this idea, and they seem to support it. Basically, I want to combine my channeling and writing to produce even more articles than before, which will be written with the inspiration and input of my higher self. I might write about this new practice soon, because I think it's a potentially revolutionary one that other seekers, particularly those who resonate with the concept of channeling, might benefit from opening up to. Combining my writing and channeling would mean I no longer produce Oversoul teachings messages, but I think it'd give the articles you read from me an added boost. I'd love to hear all of your opinions on this decision, so feel free to give your input. Evoking the higher self can be a very simple task, but it requires the willingness to believe in the reality of what you're doing. In order to connect with your higher selves, your guides or any higher dimensional entity properly, you'll have to be willing to believe that the entities you seek to connect with, and the connection itself, are very real before you can establish a pure connection, and as many of you are beginning to learn, your beliefs will forever determine the reality you manifest for yourselves. What you're willing to believe is reality, becomes reality in a sense, and as we said in a previous message, you create your reality, individually and collectively. What you decide is or isn't reality manifests as such, and if you're willing to believe your higher selves and guides are real and can be connected with, the connection that'll result will be much purer and far more potent than you'd think or expect. An inner journey. Of course, simply believing, while powerful, isn't enough. One has to embark on an inner journey that'll eventually lead them to make the connection they seek, and they have to be willing to meet what you call failure a few times before their connection can be pure or potent. The same can be said with any creative practice or venture you want to embark on. You're going to meet a lot of failure before you find the true success you seek. Failure doesn't have to keep you from embracing any given creative venture, but you have to see that it's intended to be a stepping stone to success. Failure is as inevitable as the challenges that come with successfully practicing any creative venture, and it's a very necessary aspect of gaining success that isn't to be condemned or overlooked. Whenever you seem to fail or meet a brick wall, whether it comes to channeling or anything else, you can keep in mind that it's intended to make your faith and your willingness to continue practicing these ventures stronger. It isn't meant to diminish your faith or self-confidence, and instead, it's meant to get you to turn a corner, to look at the situation from a new perspective so you can strengthen the connection you seek. When it comes to channeling the higher self, the biggest obstacle many seekers face is the obstacle of their own self-doubt. We're very real, we're here, and we can be easily communicated with if you allow yourselves to believe in the reality of our communications and practice connecting with us. But many seekers are convinced almost instantly that they just can't connect with us because their connection isn't as pure as they'd like it to be. With faith in yourselves and your ability to be conduits for the energies and expressions of the higher realms, any and every connection you seek to make will be inexplicably pure, and with practice, you'll eventually become the most prominent expressors of the energy of the higher realms. Of course, passion is always important when it comes to any creative venture. If you're passionate about channeling the higher realms, the connection that results will naturally be much purer and more potent than it'd be if you approached it with little passion or enthusiasm. Enthusiasm will always be essential to doing anything successfully and enjoying yourselves along the way, and along with faith, enthusiastic passion will help you sharpen your creativity and reach far more souls who'll benefit from your creative work and spread the good vibrations to even more receptive seekers. The awakening humanity's finding various creative outlets that are helping them refine the higher realms and uplift those around them in the process, and with this said, we'll answer our question for today. Question: information about elves, gnomes, and fairies. Could you maybe ask for information about the little people or elves etc. that live in the woods, like who they are, their history, just general info about them. Most of humanity is still very much in the dark about the fact that various higher dimensional creatures exist on and beyond your planet. We'll stick to the souls who exist on your planet and dwell in your forests for now, which have been referred to as the elves, gnomes, fairies, etc. Despite what your mainstream perception would have you believe, these entities are indeed very real, and their existence has been fantasized in your culture in a partial effort to keep them hidden. The best way to keep something hidden is to advertise it right out in the open from a mythical or fictional perspective, and this is what has happened with the gnomes, elves, fairies, and nearly every other creature that's chalked up to mythology in your day and age. Even though some stories and myths originate in the creative minds of people from your past, many myths and legends are based off of real things that were witnessed or known about in centuries past. Many legends that you hear about today are of real creatures who think and feel just like humanity, and while we respect that most souls on your planet are unwilling to believe that creatures like fairies or gnomes could possibly exist, we want to reassure you that they do, and, in fact, they're helping humanity find the light and ascend. Like the rest of the company of heaven, the gnomes, fairies, elves, and various other higher vibrational life forms who exist in your forests are lending their vibrations to humanity's evolution, and they work specifically on helping those among you who are lost in darkness and unawareness find a higher vibration and eventually ascend. Like many others, these souls work from the spiritual side of the veil to help humanity find a higher state of consciousness, and despite what you might think, they work tirelessly. They perform other duties as well, such as keeping Gaia's forests, rivers, and oceans as healthy and sustained as they can, with all of the massive pollution your planet experiences every day, but their work at present is primarily geared toward helping humanity evolve. They, along with plenty of other higher vibrational entities, are offering themselves to your planet's evolution in much more direct ways than you'd think, and you can connect with them if you feel particularly inspired or receptive. In doing this, you'll likely receive a wealth of information about them and the work they're doing, and they'd love to have the chance to speak with through humanity and offer their perspective on everything unfolding on your planet at this time. Many of you may pose the understandable question, if they're here and they live on our planet with us, why are they not known or visible? This is because humanity's operating from a lower state of consciousness, a lower vibrational perspective, and certain anomalies aren't yet perceivable with your human senses. They will be as you continue to raise your vibration in preparation for the collective ascension you're poised to experience, and this is one of many reasons these souls strive so hard to help you discover that spirit's very real. When you discover this, most of humanity won't even require their assistance with ascending because you'll be so passionate about doing the work that's required that you'll naturally take it up. They'll still assist you, of course, but the difference will be that they no longer need to, as they currently do. They want you to perceive them so they can share all of their wisdom and guidance with you, and again, you can reach out your arms and accept their assistance by seeking to connect with them in your hearts and allowing your minds to interpret their flowing energies and expressions. Any seeker who wants to connect with them, and many of you already have, should be warned that they have a lot to say and share with humanity, so they might talk your ears off. They aren't given as much of an opportunity to be channeled as various other higher dimensional souls and collectives, and as such, they strive to get out as much information and energy as they can to humanity. They recognize that the opportunity to speak through a willing and receptive channel is an opportunity to pour a wealth of greater vibrations onto the surface of the earth, vibrations that'll make a huge difference in your collective consciousness. They jump at the chance to send their positive vibrations to humanity, and those of you who feel passionate about channeling them can at least attempt to open up and transmit their energies and expressions. Look for them in nature. Until humanity's back in the fifth dimension, these entities will continue to be invisible to the naked eye, unless one gets into a good meditation in nature and attempts to perceive them. They aren't to be found in towns, cities, or anywhere else that constitutes modern society. They're to be found dwelling in forests, around lakes and rivers, and anywhere Gaia's nature shines brilliantly. They're far more interested in Gaia's natural beauty than the cities humanity's built over her lakes and forests, and if you seek to connect with them, we'd highly recommend you do it in nature or in another, similar setting. Even though they purposefully choose not to dwell in towns or cities, humanity will be very surprised to learn that they're all around. To claim there are billions of these etheric creatures in your skies, rivers, oceans, forests, etc. would be a massive understatement, and it'd be more accurate to say that there are nearly trillions of them on your planet. Humanity has so much to learn and perceive, and one of the things you have yet to learn about is the absolutely massive presence of elementals all around your planet. They exist in great numbers on every planet throughout the universe, and you might be surprised to learn that they even exist out in space, free of any planetary home. The truth of your existence is far deeper and more surreal than you might think, and we're excited for the time when humanity can learn the truth about the elementals and various other higher dimensional civilizations who exist around and even on your planet, and seek to positively influence you as much as they can. Those of you whose yards feature a particularly heavy degree of nature could even open up and connect with the elementals there, because even though they tend to avoid cities and towns, they're attracted to anything that contains Gaia's nature and the wholesome beauty that comes with it. You can connect with these entities at any time of day, and if you attempt to connect with them but find that the connection seems muddied or distorted, we'll repeat the importance of refusing to give up or convince yourselves you simply can't connect with them, because you absolutely can. There are so many sacred connections you can now make, and your willingness to make them and believe in their reality will forever determine their purity and potency. For example, our scribe's willing to believe he can connect with his higher self and guides, and even though he hesitates, he's also willing to believe he can connect with various celestial souls. This allows him to bring through these communications, and even though he doesn't act on his ability to channel souls beyond his higher self and guides, he and the rest of you can absolutely do this, and you're all encouraged to believe in the reality of the connections you can make. Channeling provides you with a very direct link to the higher realms, and if any of you are unsure about the process of channeling, keep in mind that it's a very pure and potent way to find the higher state of consciousness you seek throughout your daily existence. The seekers who diligently channel our energies and expressions are providing a very important and needed bridge between your planet and the higher realms, and while your tasks can be thankless in terms of how others on your world view your work, you can rest assured that what you're doing is very helpful and very, very needed for your planet's ascension. We recognize and accept that even many conscious seekers don't believe in the reality of channeling, but those of you who do are noticing the tremendous effect it's had on your lives and your ability to find a higher state of consciousness. Keeping the faith. Holding the light can be very difficult if one doesn't explore their direct links to the higher realms, but it becomes much easier when one's willing to open up and channel messages from these realms, be it in the form of a direct channeled communication or in the form of various works of creative, spiritually inspired art. Channeling can be done in plenty more ways than one, and no matter how you choose to do it, we wholeheartedly recommend every one of you submerge yourselves as deep into the vibrations of the sacred self as you can, while you go about your respective creative or channeling-related tasks. Your ability to channel the higher realms will grow with each pure attempt you make to open up, and we'll make our final expressions for this communication with sincere appreciation for the efforts of every soul who's channeled us, those who've done so successfully and those who've struggled immensely but still kept the faith. Keeping the faith is important when it comes to various aspects of your unfolding ascension process, and if you can remain faithful in yourselves and the divinely inspired things you've come to Earth to do, you won't have any trouble doing them. You'll always have a little trouble developing a new creative pursuit, but after so much difficulty and seeming failure, you'll find the pure ability you seek and you'll use it to help everyone around you who's been lost in the darkness of the lower vibrations find the light and ascend. Ascension is the ultimate goal for humanity, and from the fifth dimension, you'll experience countless, continual ascensions until you're eventually back in Source's pure and undistorted realms. It'll be quite a while before any of this happens, and quite a while before you're back in the fifth dimension, so take your evolving earthly experience day by day, and know that you're endlessly loved and supported by myriad higher dimensional souls. We watch and assist you wherever possible, and it always helps to keep in mind that you can constantly connect with us. In connecting, you'll receive a wealth of pure advice and guidance that's intended to help you navigate your difficult earthly experience more easily, and you can in turn help others navigate theirs. Thank you to my higher self and spiritual guides. Channeled through Wes Anak. cultureofawareness.com